The market has frozen. Hello everyone, friends. Today we'll do an update on Bitcoin, look at the coins you mentioned under the previous video, and figure out what's happening with the market. Let's get started. The last time I did a review, we were at the 83,350 mark. After that, I said that we have uncertainty. It's unclear whether we'll go up or down. In the end, we did reach the resistance level, but we didn't see any consolidation above it. There are only sweeps happening. In other words, we broke through, consolidated, and immediately went lower. This indicates weakness among buyers and strength among sellers. They're not letting the level be broken through completely. Right now, we're still standing near the resistance level, and at this point, everything is essentially going to be decided. First of all, it's important to note that if we break through the 81,760 level, preferably with several candles, then we can already talk about moving higher toward the 84,350 mark. If we don't see this breakout with confident candles, then we should expect the price of Bitcoin to move down to the support levels I mentioned earlier. These are the levels of 79,126, 76,335, and the lowest level 73,398. For now, I think there is no need to rush or make any hasty conclusions. We should simply work with the situations the market is currently presenting. Let's now turn our attention to where the maximum liquidity is concentrated, and that's at the level of 79,100. Let's switch back to the chart and see where this is located. This is the zone, the area, and it's precisely here that you can also observe the price reaction and then make decisions and consider entering based on confirmations. But again, all of this will be done in the moment, and right now there's definitely no need to force stop losses. But now I want to talk about the market in general. We see that the fear and greed index is showing a value of 50. The alt season index is the same, and the average crypto RSI is basically the same as well. This indicates a certain uncertainty in the market, a neutral attitude in both directions. Therefore, it's impossible to say with absolute certainty that we're going to move in one direction or the other right now, because the market has not yet made up its mind. In this regard, you need to be as careful and flexible as possible in your expectations right now, because it's unclear where the price will go, and we have to follow it closely. If you currently have it set in your mind that we're definitely going up or definitely going down, you need to set that aside and instead follow the price itself. If it goes higher, then you'll be trading longs. If it goes lower, then shorts. Right now, there's no point in forcing anything for the simple reason that we don't know where the price will go, because the market is as neutral as possible. I hope you fully understood and carefully noted down this idea so we can move on to the next part. By the way, you can write in the comments how you're trading right now. Are you entering spot positions or do you mostly trade futures? It would be interesting to read about it. So in the previous review, you asked me to analyze the JUP coin, and now let's do that. First of all, I want to point out that I drew a dynamic line along the highs that we periodically reach, and right now, essentially the same thing is happening. I also marked the support and resistance levels from which you can observe the price's reaction. Let's talk a bit about the resistance levels. The first resistance is at 0.32594. We've come to this specific price level before, and on several occasions it acted as support for us. So now it serves as a key area of resistance. Next, let's talk about the level at 0.42146. It has already acted as a mirror level. We can see how it worked as support when we approached it from above and as resistance when we came up to it from below, and essentially it is now also quite a strong level for us. And the last level is 0.56332. We can see how clearly it acted as resistance for us, and nothing has changed now. It still serves as such for us. And now let's talk a bit about the support levels. The first thing I'd like to point out is the support at 0.168888. It is a significant and robust level, and perhaps it's not so much a single level, as it is a broad trading zone. Because let's pay close attention to this large volume shelf. It is precisely this that serves as our key support. That is, we might not just come here and bounce off this level, but even linger for a while and already see a certain reaction from this zone, after which it would make sense to consider some long positions. The second level is at 0.19509. Why is it important for us right now? First of all, this is also a volume zone, and this level used to be a resistance for us in the past. and now it serves as a significantly powerful support from which we will carefully monitor the upcoming market reaction. And in addition to this, I have meticulously plotted such a dynamic line along the lows. It is not as long-term as the dynamic line I drew along the highs, but nevertheless, it will function as a compelling magnet for the price. And we can take a look at a potential scenario where, after a correction, the price eventually retraces back into this zone. And from here, we can already start to observe some significant price movements. This might look something very similar to this example. And after that, we will be able to capture further movements. It's too early to talk about that for now, but let's take a look at what's happening on the 4-hour chart. Here the picture is quite standard. We have reached dynamic resistance and are now already seeing a pullback. If we see a breakdown now, then I strongly believe a correction to the 0.22278 level is definitely inevitable. But why is that? First of all, this is our imbalance level, the midpoint. And besides, this level previously also acted as a resistance zone for us. That's why we can now expect some kind of price reaction from here. But you should only attempt to enter here with prior confirmation, because this level is quite risky. You could say it's still up in the air. So it's definitely not worth making any premature or early decisions. But as for entering local short positions, in general, you can only consider this scenario with confirmation, again and after consolidating below the 0.23857 mark. Now, let's summarize a bit. We have a dynamic resistance level, and it still serves as such for us. We also have horizontal levels where we will be taking profits on parts of our long positions, and we have support levels from which we will be watching for a reaction and entering long positions. First and foremost, this is the 0.22278 mark. From here, we absolutely need to look for confirmation, because it is risky and is based almost entirely on imbalance. The second level is at 0.19509. It is more reliable, but what concerns me here is the dynamic ascending level. We might retest it or take out the local liquidity. And the third level is at 0.16888. This is not just a level, but an entire zone from which we can also observe confirmation and enter long-term long positions. At the moment, locally, it is still possible to consider some short positions, but only if we consolidate below this break. And let's talk a bit about the market in general. Right now, we are basically seeing the same situation everywhere. We have some accumulation, we break out above it, but at the same time all the indicators show that we are in a neutral zone. And here essentially there are two scenarios. The first possibility is that we deceive and trap all the long traders as well as the short traders and just aggressively push the price higher without taking out all the long liquidity. Alternatively, as is usually the case, we stabilize and reset the market by taking out all the long liquidations, and only after that process is complete can we begin to look for opportunities in any long positions. Overall, I just want to say that you shouldn't force your stop losses and should stick strictly to your own strategy. Friends, thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope you found it useful. Write in the comments which coins you would like us to analyze in the next video, and also share your opinion about the market. And don't forget that it's not the smartest who wins, but the one who sticks to their strategy.